Hello, how are you going? So, as a result of last week's poll, it's really apparent that there are quite a few of you that are feeling like things are really slow right now and you're unsure what to do next. So, I've created this training especially for you. So, the thing is, you're not lazy, you're not doing anything wrong, but when things go quiet, a lot of salon owners freeze or they try everything but aren't really sure exactly what they should be doing, and they burn out or they get a little bit depressed or just a little bit defeated, and they aren't able to turn it around and move the needle forward. So what I want to do right now is start to fix that. So what I'm going to do today is give you 3 clear actions to get momentum going again without needing a full rebrand. You don't have to spend hours on Canva. You don't need to do a new website. These are going, you're going to need to put time to do it, but it's not going to be a huge amount of time and you're not reinventing the wheel. So I've got a worksheet for you that I'm attaching to this video. So print out the worksheet or write it down in your notepad. So make sure that you're putting pen to paper as you go through this exercise. Okay. So when you I want you to identify and put pen to paper to write down exactly what's happening right now in your business. So why do you feel stuck? Now, is it that you don't know what to do? Maybe you just hate social media, or you feel like you don't have time, or you just don't want to do the things. Why is it that you feel stuck? And you can also pause me if you need to think about it, and then write it down. So it's really important that you do continue and write this down. What have you been avoiding? What are you avoiding right now? Is it sitting down and working out a plan? Is it crafting social media posts and scheduling your posts? Or you've got the posts ready, but you're just too scared to actually hit post? Are you recommending retail? Have you contacted lost clients? Have you reviewed the prices of your treatments? Do you know that your treatments are priced so that you are making a profit? What is it that you are avoiding? Okay. And this isn't an exhaustive list that I just gave you. You have a think about what it is that you're avoiding and be really, really honest with yourself. Now, what bookings do you have so far this week? And how many do you want? Write that down. Okay. If you don't know what the gap is between the bookings that you've got this week and where you do want to get to, it's really difficult to bridge the gap. Knowledge is power, and you can take intentional actions to make it happen. Does that make sense? Okay, I hope so. So moving on to action number 2, but this is action number 1 to move the needle forward. So let's work on finding one client winning post format. Okay, so I don't want you to reinvent the wheel. I just want you to pick one post that has worked for you before. Okay, if you don't have one that's working for you or has been working for you before, have a look at one that you feel is working for others, just to get a few ideas. Okay, so examples are, you can have, obviously it's a type of post, a reel, a photo, or a carousel. Reels do really, really well because they have a greater reach. So more eyes see your stuff. Okay, photos not so much. Carousels do as well, but if you really need to get more eyes on your stuff, I would suggest looking at a reel. Okay, and the way that you can do that is you can do a before and after. If you do a before and an after, make sure that you have the client story with it. Okay. You could have a what to expect video or photo series, like what to expect when you come in for a brow restoration. What can you expect when you have pigmentation, and it's from whatever it is, you talk to your ideal client. So if you're speaking to a lady in her 50s, call out the lady in her 50s. What can she expect? She comes in for her first correctional facial, she goes home with her aftercare products. Then the next step is that she uses her aftercare products. She'll start to see an improvement in the next 7 days. Then she needs to come back in another 7 days for the next follow-up treatment. And so you're actually going through and sharing a series. So they know what the experience is from beginning to end. They know what the before feeling was, their before state. They know what their during feelings are, their during state, and their after state, which is how they're feeling when they get the results that they want. Okay. Or you could just do a simple reel with the result, just sharing it before, during, and after of an actual transformation that you're doing. It could be hair, it could be skin, it could be, tummy. There's any treatment that you offer, nails, and make sure that you have DM to book in. Okay, so take the time to look through your past content. What got the most likes? What got the most comments or DMs? And just recreate that format. You could just even use exactly the same subject. Okay. So also ask yourself and write in your worksheet, why do you think it worked? What is it about that post that made it work? And you could even compare it to one that didn't work. And when you start to look at these posts side by side, you start to go, I can see what my audience is resonating with. They're not resonating with me just putting up a photo of some random person with very little information about the person, the treatment, the journey. There's no storytelling, and there's no result, as opposed to, this is Sally. This is the concern that she had. She was nervous when she came in to see us. We sat down and gave her a beautiful consultation. We gave her our expert advice, but we also listened to her concerns. And then this happened and that happened and that happened and that happened. Okay. So it's as simple as that. So again, pause me and replay what I just said if you need to. The next thing that you can do is get loud about one offer this week. So just pick one of your treatments. It could be a package. It could be just your best treatment, your most popular treatment. And I don't suggest that what you do is don't go from one post about brows, one post about facials, one post about waxing. Pick one treatment and just go deep on that one treatment, that one service. It could be a package. Okay. Why do you think it is? Okay, why do you think it is? The reason is that when you start to give a clear message and you're consistent with that clear message, it shows your audience exactly what you offer, exactly what you're the expert in. Because you're sharing posts about that same treatment over and over again, you start to give different snippets of information about that treatment. So they start to get educated. You start to speak to your ideal client because you call out who the person is for. So if it is the girls in their 20s who are worried about acne scarring, and you talk about that over and over and over again, and you're speaking to that particular girl or boy in their 20s with acne scarring, and talk about how uncomfortable they are going out of the house, how they always feel that they need to wear makeup, and you share it in different ways over and over again, then it's very, very clear about who you help, how you help them, and what you get them, what you get them to achieve. Okay. So when you just focus on the one, and again, you could call out one ideal client for acne scarring. You could also call out towards the end of that and continue next week and still talk about the same treatment, but you're talking to a slightly different ideal client. So you're showing up as the expert at treating different ideal clients with that same treatment. Okay, let me know in the comments if this is making sense to you. Okay, just pop in the comments, yes, Margie, it's making sense. No, it's not. I need some clarification. Okay, I really want this to make sense for you. As you actually do this task, it will start to make sense to you. Okay, so you choose your one service and you write that down. Why is it perfect for your clients right now? Have a look at what's happening with the weather, change of seasons. What is suitable? We're going out of summer, going into winter. Has everybody got dry skin? People, maybe they want to go from blonde hair to more brunette to get to get a more of a warm coloring. Think about what people are wanting now. Is it ball season? Holidays are coming up. What is perfect now before Easter? Those sorts of things. Okay. Now think of 3 ways that you can post about that particular treatment this week. Okay. So Results, of course, you want to do that. You can also do frequently asked questions. You can do an educational post. Make sure that your educational post is in layman's terms and that it's not too technical, because people don't care about the treatment that you offer. What they care about is the results that they get from the treatment and how it makes them feel. So don't get all technical with ingredients and actives and start talking about, technical names, because you'll lose people. Talk the language that your ideal clients speak when they come to you when they're in the salon. Okay. And people are nosy. They love to know behind the scenes what's going on, so you can show what's going on behind the scenes. Show the process of a treatment just quickly, just a sneak peek of the treatment in progress. Okay, people like that. And then you show the beautiful results at the end. The next thing is that you can do to take action, okay, to fill your diary is, have you reconnected with clients who you haven't seen for a while? Okay, this one is very, very powerful. If you do this and you actually start by sending it and typing it out as an SMS, you can even call them, but most people like SMS. Send a nice personalized SMS to past 3 clients who haven't rebooked. They will know that you are contacting them directly because of the way that you've written it. You can say, hey, their name. I was thinking about you, haven't seen you for a while. How are your lashes going? You could even say, I've got a couple of appointments this week if you're due. You don't even need to say that. You can just say, look, we're here, we're thinking of you, we're here when you need. Okay, people appreciate that more than they do you thinking that you're harassing them. Okay, there's no pressure, there's no hard sell, it's just connecting, and people go, oh my gosh, I have been meaning to make a booking. I'll make a booking right now. Okay, so we do this religiously within my salon. Every week we do it. We put aside time every week to follow up lost clients, and some might not come in, but a lot of them say to us they either book straight away or they say, look, I'm away, I need to, I've been really busy, I haven't forgotten about you. And thank you so much for thinking about me. Okay, so today, send 3 messages, okay? And make sure that you track to keep note of who it is who replies. You want to track, if you put these tasks into action, make sure that you're tracking the results, because you want to know what works for you, what doesn't. You might need to change your messaging slightly. Okay, you'll get better and better at doing this. What I want to remind you is you don't need a big, huge plan all the time to get unstuck. What you actually need is momentum. So if you're in that place of being stuck at the moment and you're just so worried about when your next client's going to come in and, oh my gosh, I've got no money in the bank at the end of the week and I can't pay my bills, let alone pay myself, then you just get stuck in that fear, that place of fear. What am I going to do? I don't know what to do. When you start to just take little steps like these, this gives you momentum. So what you do is you're going to do one post, you're going to focus on one offer. Okay, you're going to focus on one message. You're going to do it at least 3 times this week. And that's all it will take to start turning things around. 3 messages today. And then track what worked and track what didn't. Okay, and then what will happen is you'll do more of what worked and less of what didn't. Okay, so at the end of the week, come back to this document. What worked? What gave you the most momentum? Okay, maybe it was watching this video and you feel enlightened now. How do you feel now? If you've been stuck, how do you feel now? Let me know in the comments. Do you feel like, hang on, I've got a bit of an action plan that I can take that's going to lift me out of this doom and gloom feeling, and I know that I can take these positive action steps. Out of these action steps, what would you repeat next week? It might be that you don't want to repeat all of them exactly the same way that you have, but you've now starting to understand why your posts haven't been working. And you're going to start concentrating on telling stories, connecting with your audience, speaking to your one ideal client, showing up as the expert. Okay, not talking about your treatment, talking about the results that your clients get. And then what needs adjusting? What do you think needs adjusting? Now, hopefully you'll know at the end of the week what needs adjusting, but if you don't, reach out to me, and me or my team will go through what you've done and give you an idea about what it is that you could do that needs adjusting in accordance with where you're at. Okay? So remember, action creates clarity. You don't need to fix everything if you're stuck right now. Okay? You just need to move. So I hope that's been helpful. Let me know in the comments, has this been helpful? And if you do want help mapping out your next 8 weeks so that you can fill your books and really move your salon forward in the right direction so that you can get your maximum growth, which would mean that you would want to work with me in my Visionary Salon Mastery program, comment growth below and let's jump on a strategy call and just have a chat about whether we're a good fit. Even if we're not, I will give you advice on what your best next steps are. Okay, so I look forward. I've got some more trainings coming, so I look forward to seeing you in the next one.